After losing 60 pounds and keeping off for 13 years, I've learned why so many busy professional men are working hard in the gym but still looking skinny. I'll expose the 10 biggest muscle building lies that's keeping you stuck and how you can finally build a lean muscular body. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, make sure you hit the subscribe button because I'm making a new video about weight loss advice for men every single week. I use these strategies to help dozens of men just like you lose up to 60 pounds and finally escape the yo-yo dieting cycle. And if you're tired of constantly losing and gain the same weight, I want to help you get to your healthy self without giving up the foods that you love. The biggest muscle building lie you've been told is that you need to bulk to build muscle, and let's imagine that you've been gaining so much weight and you're trying to build muscle but you have still a lot of belly fat and it's just further away from the point of having a lean muscular body. So what you should do is that you should focusing on body recomposition, basically meaning that you are maintaining your maintenance calories or slightly below with a smaller calorie deficit of 300 to 400 calories. Your protein intake is 45% of your daily calories, because the more muscle mass you are having, the faster you're losing fat. And having a small calorie deficit still puts you in a calorie deficit where you are trying to lose weight but still not enough for you to not building any muscle. So in this beginning of the weight loss journey, you are building a lot of muscle because your body is still in a place where it's not registered the calorie deficit. So it's like a combination of trying to lose weight but still packing on muscle. And what you are focusing on is fat loss. Weight loss is what is shown on a scale, but when you are losing fat, you are losing fat all around your body. And if you are building more muscle, the amount of muscle mass that you are having, you are removing the layers around the muscle, so the muscle is getting bigger and also the skin around the muscle is getting tighter. So that is how you get this lean muscular physique. And also when you are working out in the beginning of your workouts, you are having 4 or 5 days where you are training and you are having 2 to 3 compound movements where you are focusing on progressive overload, basically meaning that you are trying to add on as much weight as possible, still managing the right proper form and having a good mind muscle connection to make sure that you are breaking down the muscle tissues when you're working out the muscle. And by doing this, you are building a lot more muscle while losing fat without getting softer. I would love to know if you want to lose the weight for good and become the most healthiest version of yourself, just like you saw with me and my client transformation in the beginning of the video. There's a link in the description and also in the comment section where you can apply for coaching with me, and we'll see if you and I are fit to work together, and I'll help you build a game plan to lose the weight for good. Next muscle building lie you've been told is that you need to train 6 times a week to build muscle. And let's imagine that you are busy professional man at your heaviest weight, you have a full-time job, a lot of responsibility and a busy schedule, and you are training constantly but you're just exhausted to the point where you don't see any changes because you're just fed up and you are almost at the brink of feeling like you want to give up. So I recommend that working out 3 to 5 effective training days, and you should primarily focusing on working the whole body through. Let's imagine that the first day you are working out your chest and also your triceps, because when you are working out compound movements, for example, you are training the incline dumbbell chest press, then you're also targeting the upper part of the chest, and but you're also targeting the triceps. So you are working out 2 parts of the muscle, and that is a lot of volume and also a lot of intensity, and you are needing a lot of energy in the beginning of the workout. That's why you're placing the amount of workouts with the most demanding in the beginning of the workouts. And then after you've been doing the first set, you want to have 10 to 12 reps where you get some blood flow out to the muscle, and then you are targeting 1 to 2 reps before failure, and you also want to have 60 seconds before you are going to the next set. So you have 4 sets in total. One is where you are having a warm-up set to get some blood flow out to the muscle and have a better mind-muscle connection. Then you are hitting like maybe 2.5 kilos. You are increasing the weight to applying the mind-muscle connection and also the progressive overload, and you're hitting 1 to 2 reps before failure, and you're still doing that every single set. The next compound movement could, for example, be incline machine chest press, where you're still targeting the upper part of the chest, and after you've been doing that, you're going over to incline flies, and you then do tricep push downs to targeting the triceps because it already got a lot of volume by working out the chest. And then you go to tricep push downs, row push downs, it could be bench push downs, and then you're targeting the whole part of the chest and the triceps. And the next day you're going out working out the back and also the hamstrings. The next day you're working out the shoulder parts and also the biceps, and the next day you're working out your quads and the abs. And the fifth day could be weaker body parts. I usually work out the upper part of my chest and also the shoulders. And by doing that, you are also want to have at least 8 to 10 hours of sleep every single day. And I know that if you've been working out 1 hour in the gym, you also want to have the rest of the day being very easy, very stress-free, because if you have high cortisol levels, which basically means if you are having a lot of stress, it's difficult for your body to lose the weight because it's holding on to the fat store. So you want to just having a easy, chill, relaxed environment. And then by doing that, you are also having 2 rest days, and you want to use a foam roller where you are stretching and you're also giving some massage to the body parts that's been working out a lot. So by de-stressing yourself and also having a lot of recover from that is easier. And also have supplements. I usually just do creatine to rebuild the muscle tissues again, and by doing that you are building an impressive and also strong body without spending your life in the gym. The next muscle building life you've been told is that you need more exercise, which just means more muscle mass. And you're probably at a point where you spend endless amount of hours in the gym doing so many different kinds of workouts, exercise, and your body's not responding to it because you're not getting stronger, you're still looking fatter every single workout. So what I want you to do is that you're having your iPhone on you're also having a note where you are typing in all the amount of exercise you have, and also type in the amount of weights that you're putting. For example, if you are starting out with the compound movements of military press, where you're targeting the front part of the shoulders for shoulder day, and then you want to put the amount of weight that you can lift, there could be 10 kilos, and then you want to perform 10 to 12 reps, and then you are having 60 seconds of rest, then you are trying to increase the weight with 2.5 kilos or 5 kilos. So the first set, that's like after the warm-up set, you are making 1 to 2 reps before failure. You're trying your best to push yourself, and then you're tracking how it's going. If you're only able to do 10 reps, it means that you're not able to push any further. So instead of increasing the weight, then you're just keeping the same weight, and then you just typing that into your note. And you always want to have good proper form. Instead of increasing the weight all the time, you should make sure that you are hitting 12 reps. You're doing your best. Sometimes if you're not able to increase the weight every single week, you're just trying this. And again, next week you want to make sure that you're having a good mind-muscle connection while still looking on the phone, studying the exercise, so you are working the specific part of the muscle. Because if you are working out and you are targeting, for example, the traps, like the neck muscles, you are not growing the shoulders. So it's about studying the muscle group that you want to build, and by doing that you're building more muscle with being someone who is not wasting so much time. I would love to know what's your biggest takeaway from the video so far. Just comment below and let me know. The fourth muscle building lie you've been told is that you need to eat a lot to gain muscle mass. Let's imagine that you've been trying to eat a lot to gain more muscle mass, but instead you're just gaining more belly fat, and that is you losing all the definition that you've been working for. So I always approach the lean muscle mass with, for example, you've been working out your ass off, 12 weeks, you lost all the weight that you want, and then you want to go into maintenance calories. You are using a macro calculator and recalculating the amount of calories that you need to hit your new maintenance calories. That could, for example, be you having lost so many kilos, and then you're just typing in your age, your new weight, your height, activity levels, and then you have the new maintenance calories. I use macrocalculator.com, and then you put yourself in 150 or 200 calories above, because that's enough for you to gain approximately 125 grams every single week of muscle mass if you're doing everything correct. And then you're also adding some fat that could be like 200 grams, but it's about how you're doing it. And 45% of daily calories come from protein, 40% coming from carbs, and then you are also monitoring your progress. For example, you're hopping on a scale, empty stomach, you're taking a shit, and then you're also not drinking, eating anything, and you're doing it naked, because that's the more accurate way to monitor your weight. And then you're also having body pictures. You have someone who's taking a picture of you. You have shorts on, front, back, and side, same lighting. And also it's easier for you to track your progress every single 4th week, and also having some measurement tape to measure your body. For example, if you are gaining a lot of inches around your shoulder part and your chest and arms, it's a sign that you've been getting a lot more muscle mass. But still, if you are decreasing the inches around your waist, you are losing more fat. So that's the proper way to do so. By doing that, you are building more muscle, staying lean, and looking more confident. Protein alone builds muscle. Let's imagine that you have been drinking a lot of protein shakes every single day, but you still look the same, and you're still not understanding why you are not creating any muscle mass. And protein is just the biggest muscle building block that is helping you to build a lot more muscle mass. Let's imagine that you are using working out in the gym with weights as a way to stimulate the growth, and if you are not placing yourself with enough, for example, protein in your diet, you are not having the right foundation to, for example, gain more muscle mass. If you are someone who's still believing that you are eating solely carbs to losing a lot of weight, it's not so good, because there are 3 macronutrients that is going to help you have a lean, toned, muscular body, and the protein is just the most important, and carbs is helping you sustain your energy levels but also recover faster. And if you are always having a controlled calories and you are sticking to your calorie, for example, surplus, you're essentially going to build a lot of muscle mass. But sometimes when you hit the amount of muscle mass that you want, you're going to a slower calorie deficit, for example 200 or 300 calories deficit, so you are losing weight faster because you're building a lot more muscle mass. And by understanding that, you are going to make your new weight loss journey very effectively. Next muscle building lie you've been told is that you need to destroy yourself with every single workout. And let's imagine that you are going balls to the walls in every workout, and you're constantly sore, tired, and you feel like you want to give up your motivation because you're just training to failure. And that is not the best way to do. When I'm telling you to work out to failure, it means that you are having, let's say, 10 to 12 reps and you are working your ass off. So you have 1 to 2 reps before failure. For example, failure is just you cannot do anything more, but 1 to 2 reps before failure is just a way to you to push yourself, and you also manage the volume. You don't want to use so much weight that you are swinging around the weight, because that's dangerous and you could probably go to knock yourself out. So you want to do it properly. Let's imagine that after 12 weeks of building muscle, you are wanting to go into something that's called deload. So deload is a way for you to de-stress yourself, and you want to give your nervous system a mental break because your joints is sore, you are tired, your nervous system is also making you feel like you are having trouble sleeping, and also you have less motivation to hit the gym. So a proper deload with 1 or 2 weeks with eating the maintenance calories. You are not working out in the gym, you are doing some light walking, like 6,000 steps a day if you are usually doing 8,000 steps, and then you cut out all the cardio, maybe 1 to 2 cardio sessions a week where you're just running. That could help you prioritize your recover faster, but also just getting some. I know that you're probably just like myself, very impatient, so you just want to feel like you've been doing something, so go for a long walk or just doing some light walk. And by doing that, you are going to recover faster, you're sleeping faster, you get higher motivation, you're training harder, and still getting a lot of progress. The 7th muscle building life you've been told is that you cannot build muscle after 35. I'm someone who's just turned 35, so I know for a fact that it's definitely possible. Let's imagine that also you are also having clients who've been 35 and they are still losing weight and also building more muscle. But let's imagine that you are at the point where you thinking that your best years are behind you and your body does not respond like it used to, and it's not about your body not responding the way, it's just about you not having the right foundation. Because if you are someone who's been working out a lot and you're just forgetting how the fundamental are, let's imagine that you're still having a lot of focusing on progressive overload and you're constantly challenging yourself, and you are setting your protein intake 45% coming from protein. It could be a combination of eggs, salmon, tuna, lean chicken breast. It will be lean ground beef, because these are low in calories, high in density. So if you are trying to hit a calorie surplus or calorie deficit and you want to eat tasty food, it's easier if the calories are coming from low calories, because you're just getting a lot more volume and you're getting more tasty food. And it's also about having better recovery. For example, when you're not working out on the days you are having a yoga mat, you're stretching out, because if you are more flexible, you're able to have a better range of motion when you're working out. And better range of motion is essentially fundamental for you if you want to stretch the full muscle. If you are able to stretch the full muscle and get a better mind-muscle connection, you are able to break down the muscle tissues even further, and through rest and recovery you're going to build these muscles even better. And there's also better consistency, because you're also using a foam roller to massage yourself, so you're not feeling so sore and being more ready to work out. You're building a leaner, toned, muscular body in your 30s, 40s and beyond. The next muscle building life you've been told is that you need the perfect workout program. Let's imagine that you've just been switching your program every single week because you think that the next thing is going to help you with giving you the results that you want. It's not about always switching the workout program. It's about giving enough time with progressive overload and having enough patience with your diet that after 12 weeks, that's enough for you to get some real progress, and also tracking the progress, because every 4th week you're going to make some changes, because you are seeing how the measurements are from the measuring tape and your body pictures. That is going to give you an estimate about how things are going, and you're also mastering the basics, because if you really want to build a lot of more muscle, let's imagine that you are increasing the calories to 100 or 200 calories maybe after every week, every second week, because if you are constantly gaining more weight, that's good. But also if you are gaining more inches around your waist, or decreasing the inches around your waist but still gaining a lot of inches around your shoulder, back, bicep, that's a tell sign that you are increasing the muscle mass. And if you are still trying to be mindful about not rushing it too fast, you want to, if you're not gaining more muscle mass, you just want to increase the amount of calories to 100 calories or 200 calories, and just being very patient. And you should not start over constantly, because you are finally going to see the results that you want. 9 muscle building lies you've been told is that cardio is killing your muscle gains. And let's imagine that you are avoiding cardio because you just think that you're afraid of losing all your muscle mass, and body is just, let's imagine that body fat is just staying too high to see the muscle and the physique that you build. I always recommend that you are starting out with low intensity cardio. That could be on a stationary bike or a cross trainer, and you're doing your daily steps of 6,000 or 8,000 steps, because if you're doing that, you are going to not put so much strain and stress on your joints and your nervous systems. It's easy for you to accomplish, and you can just go for a brief walk and have some podcast into your ear. And you're also prioritizing your strength training, because that is helpful for you to build more muscle, and you're also losing a lot more fat even at rest. And with the proper nutrition, you're going to build a lean muscle physique and also get a lot stronger. The last muscle building lie you've been told is that you have to choose between losing fat and also building muscle. Let's imagine that you are not sure if you're too big or too small, and you really want to get lean, toned, muscular and strong. And it's about being patient and being very honest with yourself. I always recommend that when you're starting out, you should have a coach on your side, because that's what I've been doing after trying for several years, not seeing the results that I want. And I was getting a professional, honest opinion of what kind of physique I aspire to, because that's what I've been doing myself. And then also having assessment of what you should be doing. Let's imagine that I'm still too big and have not so much muscle and too soft. A body composition is helpful by having a smaller calorie deficit and losing so much weight, and also maintaining more muscle mass, because if you are losing weight, you can see essentially how your body is structured. If you are having too big thighs, you're just not working out the muscle in the legs too much and solely focusing on upper part of the, for example, the body, because you're going to build a lot more width on your shoulders, bigger arms, and keeping the tight waist, and also having a calorie surplus maybe in the after you've been losing all the weight. Then you go into the calorie surplus because you want to build more muscle around your upper part, because that is making your body look more symmetry. And then you're going to build the physique that you really want, getting more muscle, losing more fat, and getting more confidence. And if you want to lose the weight for good, just like you saw with me in my client transformation in the beginning of the video, and become the most healthiest version of yourself, there's a link in the description and also in the comment section where you can apply for coaching with me. And we'll see if you and I are fit to work together, and I'll help build a game plan to help you lose the weight for good.